What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Jacob Daniel back at it again here at the Speed Kills podcast. Let's say you have that coveted number one overall pick in your PPR fantasy football league. Who should you pick? We're going to talk about that. Let's get into it. All right, two guys that I think that deserve this number one overall pick, and we're going to debate between them today, is Le'Veon Bell and David Johnson. Both tremendous running backs, carry heavy workloads, are pass-catching backs. They run the ball really well, and they're both ranking. Some people have Le'Veon Bell as number one. Some people have David Johnson as number one. We're going to get into their individual stats. I'll start off with David Johnson. David Johnson had around 1,200, kind of the higher 1,200 yards in rushing last year, 16 touchdowns, and he had around 900 yards receiving with 4 touchdowns there. David Johnson, tremendous workload last year, got hurt in like the second to last game last year. I don't think the injury is a concern for me, but I think he is a tremendous back, great workload. The offense in Arizona is very good. Carson Palmer's getting a little old. Larry Fitzgerald's probably going to retire after this year, but tremendous workload. I bet he'll even get more carries, more receptions this year. All right, Le'Veon Bell had around 1,300 rushing yards last year, 7 touchdowns, around 600 yards receiving, and 2 touchdowns. Now remember, Le'Veon Bell was suspended for the first 3 games last year. That kind of depleted his stats. He still finished up there in the running back 1 category. Again, the Steelers' offense, very high-powered. Antonio Brown, Ben Roethlisberger. They drafted a couple pieces. They have other good receivers as well. But Le'Veon Bell, injury can be a concern with him, and that would be the only reason that I can see you not drafting him number one. But that was his staff. Heavy workload, just like David Johnson. Pass-catching back, just like David Johnson. All right. Now, in my opinion, with the number one overall pick in your league, you should take David Johnson. I had David Johnson on my team last year, kind of biased, but he has the workload. The thing is that Le'Veon kind of had some injury history, suspension history in his past, and you don't want that with the number one overall pick, and you don't want him to be a bust, so per se, and miss half the season. You want your guy to, score the most points in the league, score a lot of points. I forgot to go over in their individual stats. David Johnson had around 410 to 405 fantasy points last year, and Le'Veon Bell had 317 in PPR format. So there you go. Even though Le'Veon missed 3 games, I'm still on the David Johnson boat. I think this guy is a tremendous back, very good running back. He averaged 4.2 yards per carry last year to Le'Veon 4.9. Now, that's not as much, but I think David Johnson gets a better workload and is not prone to injury, even though he got injured last year. I'm going to take David Johnson if I have the number one overall pick, but I probably won't, so I probably can't take him. Tell me in the comments what you guys think, Le'Veon Bell versus David Johnson, who you're picking number one overall, or even if you're going to pick Ezekiel Elliott, Antonio Brown. I know those are viable options as well. With the fantasy football season fast approaching us, I'm probably going to be going through more fantasy football content, maybe a 2-quarterback mock draft here soon, rank running backs, rank wide receivers. Tell me what you guys want in the comments. Like this video. This has been the Speed Kills podcast. Your boy Jacob Daniel. Peace.